This is rare for me. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to our regular AMAs. My name is Marty, also known as Alcatraz. I'm the lead designer at Raini Studios, working on our flagship title, The Lords of Light. How are we doing today, gentlemen?
Doing well. Look at this. We got a decent amount of viewers. I think if we move the time back a little bit, it seems to suit a lot more of our community better. So glad to see some familiar faces in here. And good morning from Australia. How you doing, Ray?
Yeah, good. Thank you very much. Everything's pumping along at the moment, isn't it? It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's been a wild week, definitely.
Yeah, most definitely. Fantastic to see. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Perfect.
Yeah. You guys want to do a quick intro, just in case we have any new
Sure.
viewers this week?
So I am Chris or Artkin. I am one of the co-founders of Rainy Studios and the current acting managing director. I'll pass it across to Ray.
I'm Ray Drasniba. I'm a mod in on the Telegram and the Discord. Been with the project for a very not since the very beginning, but not long after.
Close enough.
Love the project. Been watching, following, supporting, doing everything I can since I very first day just aped in when I heard about it. Just a fantastic team, fantastic project, and looking forward to what's coming. It's fantastic.
Yeah. As we sort of alluded to there, it's been a pretty wild week or so. Here in the Rainiverse. Obviously, a lot of things going on. We've got our formations, our next major set dropping, I believe, 24 hours from now. If I don't know, time zones always mess me up. I think it's about
Yep.
24 hours. Yep.
23 hours, 53 minutes. Yep.
Yep. Cool. What else? Season 2 kicks off on the 1st of December, so end of this week. We've got play and earn, collect and earn leaderboard rewards kicking off. Yeah, obviously, and yeah, all the new formation stuff. We're gonna do a full reveal of that during this AMA. We've got an awesome Twitter space organized by our friends over at Merit Circle and Beam. That's tomorrow, just before the formations drop. So really looking forward to that. There's a Twitter space for that one. Yeah, it's all happening.
Exciting times. Yeah, really looking forward to it. Yeah, there seems to be a lot of hype in the Telegram channels again. So good to see yeah, the broader crypto market pumping a little bit. It remains to be seen whether it's going to continue on into a new bull market or just be an early I guess bear market rally before we get the proper bull later on. But either way, if you're a big believer in the technology and the space, you know there's an inevitability on your side. And so we have ridden out some of the worst of the bear market, I'm sure. And it's great to be seeing some positivity again and have so much cool stuff on the immediate horizon for Rainy.
Yeah, especially like there's a lot of focus at the moment on GameFi related projects such as ourselves. And yeah, it's just really great to see so many super talented teams and developers just yeah taking advantage of all of the unique benefits that blockchain technology brings to the gaming space. And obviously, yeah, Beam being one of the biggest players in that space right now. So for those may not have been following as much. Obviously, the Lords of Light, and our new token, the RST token, was some of the first, I believe the first to launch on Beam on the new Avalanche subnet. So obviously, earlier this year, the Rainy Studios team was at GDC and 3XP alongside Avalanche. We've been close so now for years. So yeah, it's been pretty fun to see it sort of coming together and sort of how obviously looking at the in the sentiment, looking at the everything's coming together really well. Um, as we, if you're in Telegram or Discord, you would have seen I'm actually on holidays over in Vegas at the moment. So I'm on pretty average hotel Wi-Fi and not my usual setup. So I apologize for any audio issues, but I'm sure you guys can bear with it.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was on my end or yours there. Apologies. I think Marty you just cut in and out for a little while there. So we got the positive vibes at least coming through, but it was all interspersed with static. So yeah, it's all good.
Yeah,
Um, Yeah.
My hotel room has a network cable, a network port. But then I remember that MacBook Pros don't have network ports. And yeah, my adapter is like 10,000 kilometers away. I can't convert that to freedom units. It's way too early in the afternoon for that sort of high level math. But yeah, I mean, let's really put this hotel Wi-Fi to the test. As we mentioned, Formations is dropping in a little under 24 hours. That's our first large set for RTLOL that was designed after obviously Genesis and Tempest. Those two sets were obviously designed together back in the very early days of Raini Studios and the RTLOL project. So yeah, unless there's anything else we want to quickly touch on, I'd love to dive in and let's show some cool cards.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
Sounds good to
definitely.
me.
Go for it. Yep.
All right, let's see how this goes. Total Wi-Fi, what can go wrong? All right, so that's how's that looking over there?
Looks good.
Yep.
All
That's
right,
good.
I might actually full screen this like that because let's face it, the people watching right now care more about what's on the screen share than looking at our faces for a little bit. But let's yeah. So how do you guys want to do this? Do you want me to go by rarity? Do you want me to talk through the colors? How do we want to
I think
do formations?
yeah, I think colors is probably a good way because it's kind of showcasing an archetype.
Yeah, cool. I'm gonna start at the bottom and work our way up. Primarily because we always go the other way with everything that we show. So I figured I'd go this way. That way, like purple and pink and that will get a bit of love compared to always starting with red up the top. But yeah, I mean, so obviously we've got three rainbow cards in this set, all of which have been spoiled or leaked earlier. So Stacey Rainey and Elemental Mastery are our two mythics this time around. So for those who may be new to RTLOL, one of the rules that we do have around deck construction is that you can only have one mythic minion and one mythic spell in any deck. So, for example, players post formations looking to play Stacey Rainey will be basically trying to decide whether they want to play that Quantum Rug or Chad Rainey. And obviously, Elemental Mastery is in there with cards such as the Seven Deadly Sins and Aurora. Both very interesting cards, some very unique abilities. I know in a lot of our internal playtesting, Elemental Mastery has sort of given a bit of a revival to some of the old school elemental decks that I know we saw early on in RTLOL, probably in that pre 7DS era, so back in our like alpha and beta sort of periods. But yeah, Draz, how do you feel about elementals coming back and staring down fire elementals and light elementals again?
Sorry, mate. I have my screen maximized and I couldn't find the button to unmute. So, actually, sorry, I'm going through the questions as well. So what was the question again? Sorry, mate.
Oh, just, I mean, because you obviously have been around for a very long time, you'll remember
Yeah.
the old school elemental decks.
Oh, yes. Yeah, most definitely. Oh, mate, it's just changed so much. I mean, at the beginning, I wasn't right into the game. I was just right into the project and all different sorts of things. But then suddenly I just got consumed by the game. But I mean, I still have a lot to learn about TCGs. And this new set that you're dropping here is just going to bring so much change to the way that people play the games and the card strategies. It's just awesome.
I just realized now I'm like nodding along to everything you're saying, but
Yeah.
we're not on webcam at the moment, so
No, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, there's like I said, Elemental Mastery really brings back the old school elemental decks. Stacey Rainey is an absolute boss when she cooperates.
Yeah.
It's the NPC mechanic. We've had a lot of fun in designing and refining how that works. It adds a super interesting element to how the game sort of works. But I mean, you're getting some hell of a stats and crazy abilities there for the cost. So
do many other TCGs have that non-player character type ability? Do other games have that where the card basically behaves on its own? What it wants to do?
Off the top of my head, I can't think of. So it's definitely not a mechanic you'd see in traditional paper TCGs. One of the things we really do with RTLOL is we try to lean into the fact that we are a digital only TCG. So there are abilities that we do that you could do them in physical games, but it'd be a lot of work to track it and make it work.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know probably that off the top of my head, the closest I can think of, there's been, I know Hearthstone had like a mechanic where, like, when you attack with something, there's like a 50% chance it'll attack a different target.
Okay.
Which is probably the closest to like the card having that sort of slight RNG element.
She's on another level, isn't she? She's
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So when you play, for those who haven't seen, this is gonna be a long AMA today. I just realized we're 2 cards in and we're talking on all this cool stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. So like when you play it, obviously has pumped. She may choose to attack straight away. She may wait until you do something else. She may wait till the end of your turn. She may just decide, you know what, I don't feel like attacking this turn and do absolutely nothing. So it's yeah. There's and even then, the way that the card chooses the targets to attack. Sometimes it will choose the best target. Sometimes it will choose just a random target. Yeah, there's a it's a very swingy sort of card. Is probably the best way to sort of describe it. It does add a bit of RNG to the game, but hopefully we've done that in a way that makes the game exciting. And even dropping that, I mean, that's 6 costs. So if you're playing that with certain colors that maybe can accelerate a little bit, theoretically you're dropping that turn 5, turn 6. Then yeah, it's a lot of stats and a lot of ability there that you're getting for the cost. But obviously, yeah, with that RNG element to it there as well.
Yeah, nice. What is drone?
Drone is one of my favorite cards. They're all my favorite cards in this set. This set's amazing. I'm very heavily biased as the lead designer, obviously. But Drone is, in my opinion, one of the most important cards in the formation set. This is, we've had free cards before. Free is in FREE, cards that have no cost. Some of our seasons have 0 cost to play them. Drone is our first free minion. Cannot be staked, so pretty much it exists to get put out on the board. It's an O2 stat line, so it looks inconsequential, but Drone is amazing as a combo piece. Drone is super important to enable your flanking and your surrounded minions to do their thing. And as we'll see when we get to a certain orange season a bit further up, Drone can attack. Drone can do a bit of damage. And yeah, there have definitely been games I've played in our play testing where I've swung for the win with an army of drones and rabbits, which
Nice.
if we're talking about any other TCG, they would give this weird crazy look. But for those who have played a lot of RTLOL, they understand the power of the power of pandas and the power of rabbits. To answer Ash's question, I've got the chat open too. I'll try to answer as many of the questions as I can as we go through chat as well. But for Ash's question there, Drone is a rare. So Drone will be available as a collectible card, and as a rare, it's limited to 3 in a deck. So, all right, just so we don't get stuck on those, let's keep it moving. Actually, I will actually filter it by color.
Because there's 60 cards or so in this drop, isn't there?
There's 60 cards which are available like in the deck editor. There are 60. Yep, there are 69 cards available throughout the whole set. So obviously there are certain cards, certain mechanics that maybe add cards to your hand or create minions on the board. Yeah, there's 69 in total cards for this set. That number obviously being completely random, and in no way did we deliberately design the sets with that goal in mind. So yeah, I mean, you've got some really interesting cards here. Probably just to do a bit of a quick highlights. Gladiator Bear, very, very interesting cards there. So we've obviously seen from some of our earlier cards the locking mechanic for gems. What was it? It was Crypto Lockup was the card. So yeah, Gladiator Bear is basically saying, hey, like, we're going to give you a card. It's meant to cost 8, but it's going to cost you 5 this turn and 3 the following turn. And you get quite a large stat line there. Obviously, a little bit weaker in the HP, but Pink obviously being very good at buffing health on their minions, which is pretty cool. Hermes obviously being the legendary here in Pink. A very, very powerful ability. So anytime it gains HP, draw a card. Keeping in mind, if you're running the pink season that gives everything +1 HP, you'll basically, it will cantrip. You'll draw a card straight away on play. Winged Helm, if Hermes was the only minion you had in play, that's basically saying give it +4 health and draw 4 cards, which is pretty stupid. And obviously, we know that pink has a lot of different ways to buff minions. So yeah, very, very interesting legendary, especially if you can get the stick on the board. What else we got? Calderus. Actually, Calderus I'll touch on. This is like one of the sort of sub themes that you'll see in formations. So when we design sets, especially when we're doing very much a bottom-up design, such as formations was, obviously we'll have our key mechanics. So obviously flanking and surrounded being two of the big ones there. But you'll notice there's obviously several like sub themes that we sort of sprinkle in there as sort of like, think of them as like the supporting cast of abilities. And one of the things you'll see quite a bit across formations is cards that have on death mechanics, where it will do something, but only if it's not your own turn. So basically, if you choose to attack into a minion and trade, that won't activate. But if your opponent were to kill this minion on your turn, on their turn, you get some sort of benefit or ability triggering as a response of that. So in the same way that flanking and surrounded at its core was our way to try and encourage more dynamic gameplay. It matters where you place your minions on the board. All of a sudden, the decision around do you trade, do you attack, do you just go face, stuff like that matters much more. This on death sort of mini mechanic ties into that as well there. So yeah, you'll start seeing a few cards with that sort of ability there, where all of a sudden the actual decision around how you choose to trade or what you choose to do for combat starts to matter more and more, which is pretty cool. All right, I'm just quickly having a quick look at the chat. All right, so that's pink. Let's move on to purple.
I just noticed you're loaded up on the Lux there, mate, and the coins. You're rich. 110.
Oh yeah, this is a dev account. Just so
there's the rich.
Yeah. So yeah, like obviously we've got all the live game that everyone plays on Epic. We've got a whole separate, well, actually 2 other separate full environments, dev and staging, that the team uses for various testing and in development work.
It's the RTLOL equivalent of pulling up in a Lambo.
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the artwork on this purple. I've always loved the artwork on purple. It's just got some. It's probably the same people doing the artwork, but just purple for me seems just to stand out with the colors. I think just the.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I can't stress enough, and I've said this like almost every AMA, and I'll say it again. Our lead artists and the art team that we have working on RTLOL are some of the most talented individuals I've had the privilege of. I mean, the whole team is ridiculous, but art especially being something that's people will always notice the art of a game before anything else. You can create a game that has the best mechanics, the best gameplay, but if it doesn't look appealing, a lot of players will just skip straight over it. And we've been incredibly blessed to have such an amazing, talented art team be able to put stuff together like this in a very short span of time as well. Obviously, we're looking to ramp up the number of sets that we release over time, heading into 2024, and yeah, having the team that can really just create such a wide, diverse range of arts and sort of bring it all together with a very holistic theme is always a privilege to work with. So yeah, it's been really great. In purple, probably the interesting thing in purple this time around is the fact that for the first time we're actually giving you some ways to banish your own friendly minions. Curious Apprentice being an example of that. The Hippiotaurus being a minion that takes advantage of that. Lich having again one of those on death mechanics. Hail Caesar, the season card, super interesting, very, very unique, I guess you could say. Unique isn't the new keyword for us. We had it in 7 Deadly Sins on Chastity, but this time around, we've actually built it into a season card. So, I can mouse over it here. So, unique basically will destroy all other cards in play with the same name, and the most recently played survives. So if you have multiple minions with the same name, basically only the most recent one will live. Where that gets super interesting is when you think of cards like Year of the Rabbit, Campai Pandas, even chubby aliens, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely a very thematic sort of season there for purple, and definitely the sort of card that you can design your whole deck around. Where if you have a I guess what we call like a Highlander deck, so a deck that only has like one-offs for most cards, it may not affect you as much, but yeah, it can definitely affect your opponent if they're planning on running a lot of copies of the same card.
So there are a bunch of defenders on deck on the other side, and you throw out a defender, all their defenders will be destroyed.
Exactly. Although keep in mind, so with uniqueness, when we are talking base cards, like orange defender is a different card to say blue defender, so it's worth keeping in mind there.
Oh, okay, cool.
But yeah, if you had say multiple gluttonies, for example, then yeah, absolutely, that's how the interaction would go.
Okay.
So also interesting, Team My Purple does have cards such as Envy. So the ability to copy other minions and stuff like that. Again, it gets very interesting with a card like Hail Caesar. So, and again, just really cool artwork on there as well. Obviously, I mean, yeah, I think we can all accept the fact the art's going to look amazing in every set that we do. So yeah, we don't need to harp on it every time. But yeah, obviously, want to give that massive shout out to the whole team who's worked really hard to bring formations together. All right. Excuse me. The dry desert air is getting to me. Blue got some pretty cool stuff this time around. A little bit of RNG in there with witness tampering and stuff like that. Although again, it's RNG, whereas purple might go for RNG in a completely random way. Blue likes RNG where it still has some element of control, similar to what we saw with the Blockfather, one of our legendary promo cards. So yeah, being able to freeze friendly and surrounded minions. And again, one of the first times we've seen where you would actually freeze your own minions there as well, which is interesting. The blue legendary, Depths of Tartarus, that doesn't say target enemy minion. That just says freeze a minion and give it, a pretty massive buff. So a lot of interesting ways that card can be used there. We did get a new keyword in blue, being desperation. So we see it there on Oceanic Fintervention. Apologies for the terrible pun on that one. That was one of our classic. We put the pun in back when the card was in testing, and it just kind of stuck. So yeah, that's there was fun when that comes to fruition. But yeah, I mean, for everyone who thought that Gluttony being a 9/9 for 6 gems was overpowered, well, I hate to say it, now we're going to give you a 12/12 for 6 gems. But you need to be in desperation, which means you have no cards left in your deck. So if you're looking for that end game win condition in blue, which a lot of control heavy decks do like to find, this could be the answer for you.
Wow. I can see all the guys, everyone's just been playing this through all the seasons so far, just going back through this AMA later on, just taking notes and starting to build their decks. They've been hanging out for this.
Yeah, I think the obvious combo with Oceanic Fintervention is the 7 Deadly Sins card Greed. Nice synergy there if you do it in the right order and don't kill yourself.
I mean, yeah, Greed also combos a little bit with Riptide as well. So yeah, Riptide obviously very, very expensive. We've gone the opposite way there. Costs 14 blue gems. But costs 1 blue gem less for each card that you've drawn this turn. So very interesting if you do have ways to draw lots of cards, which blue definitely does. Riptide is a very, very cool little mechanic there. All right, let's jump over to green. What did green get this time around? I mean, green got Monster Egg. The two cards I want to shout out here, Pandora and Monster Egg. Monster Egg is just fun. It's this innocent little creature. You can just leave it, little minion. Just don't do anything for it. But if it leaves play, notice that it doesn't say killed. So this will include bounce. This will include banish. You get a 4/4 rabbit. So we've had red rabbits. Here we see our first green rabbit. There may be a little theme here, sort of starting to develop over a couple of sets. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But yeah, definitely an interesting little card there. And yeah, Pandora. We've had this sort of little minor theme in green for a while now around green likes when you play spells. Pandora obviously loves when you play spells. And keeping in mind that playing recharge cards, like they are spells, even though most of us just use them as a really good card to stake. They are spells. They will trigger for things such as Pandora. And yeah, a green deck with that in mind, who is left to their own devices and given the time to play a lot of spells, then yeah, they can drop a very big threat on the board there. Potentially even sometimes a one-hit KO level threat, depending on how the deck is designed. So very, very interesting there. And yeah, Pandora, very, very fun sort of deck there as well. And yeah, Satyr, obviously, good stat line, but you're giving your opponent a rainbow recharge card. Obviously, recharge cards being, again, a very on thematic green sort of effect. Snake Charmer, beautiful combo there with Blaze Dog, the ability to draw lots of cards straight away. Gaia, again, comboing into that recharge card, and with that little surrounded theme there as well. So yeah, some really cool stuff there in green.
I think before we move on, just highlighting one of Monster Egg's implications is it's a good counter to time travel. So we've seen in some of the top end of RTLOL competitive play recently with the World Championship that we wrapped up pretty recently. There was quite a big prevalence of time travel being played in control-oriented decks. This is a way to just keep pushing, I guess, the pressure on your opponent if they time travel your egg. You get left with a 4/4, which is actually better than a 0/4. So, yeah, just wanted to point that out.
Wait,
Nice.
you don't mean in the set dropping right before we introduce play and earn and collect and earn mechanics, that in one of the slots dedicated to cards which are available as a collectible variant, we would drop a card that hard counters some of the most prevalent tournament decks right now. We
Not
would
at all.
do that? No, God, no.
No.
That's crazy talk right there. Yeah, no. Okay. Yeah, let's move on. That's just, I don't even know what you're going on about there. That's just stupid talk. Cool. I wonder what Nemesaur is going to say when he watches this. Anyway, yellow is fun. Yellow got some very interesting tools this time around. Hera, obviously, nice little legendary 3/3 for 2. If your deck contains Zeus or Hercules, draw them. Zeus, obviously, one of our was it? I always forget if it was Genesis or Tempest. One of the yellow legendaries there that recently got both a buff and an art tweak. So I'll pull that up in just a second. Hercules, we must have forgotten Hercules. I don't see him here in formations. Do you know what happened with that one there, Chris? We must have just, I don't know.
I think Hercules is still a baby at this point. Maybe he'll make his appearance.
Yeah,
once
maybe
he's big and strong.
Yeah, and he needs time to evolve and sort of eat his vitamins and say his prayers and do some workouts. So yeah, we'll have to. I don't know. Maybe that just got missed or something. We'll have to go back and see what the devs did there. Yeah, Jackalope. So we're going to get some yellow rabbits this time around, which is pretty cool. Just the tip again. When you let designers come up with funny names when we're testing and those names kind of stick the whole way through, this is what happens. But yeah, another transcendent card. So similar to what we've done before with things like Gratitude, or I guess Aurora being a game length transcendent card. But yeah, whenever a minion enters play, it deals 2 damage to a random enemy minion. Keep in mind that isn't just for yourself. That's when any minion enters play. So theoretically, if you look at things like Monster Egg, or obviously there are there are cards that can put minions into play under your opponent's control. Just keep in mind that will trigger there as well, which is pretty interesting. Silent Oracle, we get another cleanse and silence, so similar to FUD. Odysseus being just a nice solid body. Same as Crixus, giving a power buff there. So yeah, some very aggressive mechanics there in yellow. And obviously strength in numbers. Very situational card, but theoretically can draw 4 cards. So yeah, definitely a fun little card there as well. All right. Let's see if we can spot the combo between yellow and orange with cards like Just the Tip. So we're gonna ignore Tug of War just for now. We'll come back to that one because that deserves a bit more of a conversation. Shield Wall Guardian, nice stat line there. For a nice early drop, that can gain Guardian, but only when it's flanking. Trojan Horse, if it gets to attack the enemy hero, it fills your board with 1/1 orange rabbits. So by itself may not do much, but if it does manage to get through there past the Guardian, stuff like that, if it survives and is able to attack, filling up your board with 1/1 rabbits, probably pretty strong, I would say. And then we look at Tug of War, and this is a fun season. So whoever controls more minions, their minions get +2 power. Hey, Draz, do you reckon Trojan Horse and Tug of War might work well together?
I think so, mate. Yep. I don't think I'm skillful enough to use it yet, but I love the on-play animation for Tug of War as well. That was pretty cool that you showed us the other day.
Yeah, I can't remember if I dropped that on Telegram or on Twitter. Or I'm not calling it X. Screw Elon. It's not X. It's Twitter.
No, everyone knows.
But yeah, make sure you are, I guess, on all of our socials, whether it be Twitter, Discord, or Telegram. The devs from time to time will drop little, gameplay trailers, new cards. We try to, drop new things there on our socials as much as we can. And yeah, obviously the Tug of War on-play animation we dropped there fairly recently as well.
I think there's like 14 total on-play animations that we're adding as part of Formation. So it's kind of like one of the cornerstones of RTLOL is that rather than just playing cards to the board and having it feel really far removed from an epic battle, we like to animate the what is happening when you play the card for some of the more powerful cards. So yeah, really keen for everyone to jump into the game and experience the 14 brand new on-play animations that our VFX artist and team have been working on for months now. Yeah, some of them are amazing. So yeah.
I mean, I think all of them are amazing, but I'm very heavily biased there personally. I'm just having a quick read through some of the questions just to make sure we don't miss any. One from Marius Joseph. Cards will be locked into their space or are we moving as it is? So generally speaking, your cards will stay in the spot where they are played unless another card happens to change that in some way. So yeah, board position matters. Keeping in mind as well, you can play cards between. You don't have to play them on the edges. You can play them like in the middle of the board and sort of move cards around like that. And again, the way you choose to attack, the order in which you choose to attack, can affect which cards are considered to be flanking or surrounded.
Your minions. One way to think about it is your minions will always be. If you were in a Word document and you choose the alignment, it's always going to be like center justified. So they're always going to like pull towards the center of the board, and then you can dictate, what order they show up in. So if you want something to the left of your minion, play it to the left. If you have 2 minions on the board and you want those 2 minions to be on the outside, you just play the minion in the middle. So you can influence where they are, but you're not going to be able to pick them up and move them around once they're on the board.
That's going to be particularly relevant with flanked and surrounded this time, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Especially, I mean, look at Shield Wall Guardian, for example. If you want a flanking, or if you want a Guardian, you play it on a flank. If you don't want a Guardian, you play it where it's surrounded. So yeah, like how you choose to play minions, how you choose to affect your opponent's board as well. Both have a lot of effect on how the game actually plays out this time around. So yeah, very like the actual combat part of RTLOL with formations is much more dynamic. It's much more interesting Because yeah, there's a lot of different. Yeah, as Seb pointed out, it's chess on steroids. Yeah, there's a lot of Giga Chad alpha brain 4D thinking you need to do with a lot of these mechanics that are coming through here. Ash was asking if there's going to be something that boosts rabbits. I don't know. Maybe there will be. Maybe there won't be. Maybe there'll be something down the road. We'll have to wait and see.
Depends how nice you are to Alcatraz.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I believe that after formations we have rabbits in I think 5 of the 7 colors. I think it is. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Maybe devs get lazy. Maybe we'll just forget about the rabbits and we'll start doing something else. But yeah, we'll see if we ever end up having a we've got elemental mastery in formations. Maybe at some point we'll have to do a rabbit mastery there as well, which would be kind of fun. The only other card I want to quickly point out here, because this is a card that I've wanted to get into the game since we were designing Genesis. And God knows, Chris, you've listened to me go on about this card design for so long. It's something we just needed to do. Because again, this is a really great example, Draz, of something that works great in a digital format, but would be quite hard to do in a paper format.
Yeah.
Athena's Blessing. For the rest of the game, your hero has Guardian. It's such an interesting card when it gets played. It really just can completely change the board. All of a sudden, depending on your board state, this card literally says none of your minions can be attacked anymore. It turns the game in some ways into a race where your opponent can only hit face. So yeah, it's a very interesting mechanic. And yeah, it feels very iconic in orange, obviously, being the color that cares a lot about Guardians. So yeah, I'm sure we'll see some mono orange decks taking advantage of that. I'm sure we'll see some people trying to squeeze them into some rainbow or 2-color decks there as well. And last but definitely not least, we have red. So some cool stuff here. Barbarian Horde, especially. If this minion is not surrounded, destroy it. Simple as that. So if you don't have 3 minions on the board, it's just going to die. If it ever ends up flanking, so again, your opponent can choose how they choose to attack into you. So very much, as is very thematic in red, this is a very high risk, high reward sort of card. Chupacabra, same sort of thing. You're getting huge stats for the cost, but you're going to take 5 damage every time you play it. And again, it's up to the players to decide if that's as we'd say, is the juice worth the squeeze? Are they willing to take that risk? I'll tell you one thing though, banishing a Chupacabra feels amazing every time you get to do it. So or when they play it and you've got a recursive reality sitting there ready to go. Yeah, very, very interesting card. Again, high risk, high reward, being very thematic for red. Explosive Insights being probably one of the best examples of that high risk, high reward mechanic. So we've actually got some card draw here. Draw 3 cards for 2 red gems, which is huge. But then every card in your hand goes up by 1 colorless gem. And keeping in mind, unless you have some way of knowing the order of your deck, you don't know what those 3 cards are you're going to draw. You're going to pump those cards up to more expensive costs. So that that Explosive Insight can win or lose the game all by itself. If there was a very thematic, a very iconic red card, that absolutely is it.
This is where RTLOL's unique staking mechanism comes in. So anything that influences the cost of cards in hand can be negated by staking them instead. If you just want some ammunition to get some gems and you got some gas in your hand to play, then this can be a good combo piece. So there's a lot of ways that you can, combine this in interesting ways to maximize its upside and minimize its downside.
And technically, with this, if you were to draw drones, then you'd actually have to pay for them. As where did I see it? As Ash just noticed, King Leonidas being the red legendary, Shockwave 420, which is kind of stupid. So yeah, this does a lot of damage in the right situation. So yeah, Shockwave obviously damages the minions to the sides of whatever you attack into. So depending on your opponent's board placement, depending on how well they play around this particular card, has pumped, so they may not see it coming. Yeah, can definitely give you some very nice trades there. But again, cannot attack unless it is flanking or surrounded itself. So very thematic there with Seven Deadly Sins. We've got I guess the polar opposite of SBF in terms of mechanics, at least. Sweet Caroline, yeah, designed literally to be the opposite of SBF, the antithesis, however that word's pronounced. I type it more than I say it these days.
Antithesis, is it?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna move my mouth and pretend that we got like some Wi-Fi lag so that I don't look like a complete idiot when I can't speak English at the moment. But yeah, whenever a friendly minion is unfrozen, deal 2 damage to a random enemy character. Kind of a cool mechanic to have there in red. Combos nicely with a certain salamander we all know and love. Or just, if things get frozen and just, unfreeze naturally can be a very interesting card there. And yeah, I mean, there's more cards that we haven't touched on. I mean, I don't want to, well, we could talk about this for literally hours. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the set go live later on this week. Obviously, after the launch, we'll try to get the game updated pretty much at the same time, so all the packs that you're obtaining can be used straight away. And yeah, obviously a lot of fun, interesting cards there for players to get in there, build some new decks, and see how it all shakes out. There will be 4 theme decks alongside the Formations launch as well. So obviously those theme decks can be bought or unlocked via theme deck tokens. 3 of them are single.
Oh, sorry, mate. You go. I was going to say, what is a theme deck for those that are new?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Sorry, but probably a really great question, Draz. That's probably why we get you to help host these AMAs. Right. So theme decks are, other games would probably call them pre-constructed decks. So a theme deck is a deck that you unlock either by spending a theme deck token, which are these things just up here next to your coins and your Lux. You can get those through playing through the Battle Pass, or you can buy them through the store for Lux as well. With a theme deck, they can be used in all of our game modes. So you can use them in quick matches, which are like our ranked games. You can use them in tournaments. You can even use them in our theme deck specific game modes, where you can only play with theme decks. The difference with a theme deck compared to actually owning or unlocking cards directly and building decks yourself is a theme deck cannot be changed in any way. So what you see is what you get. Owning a theme deck doesn't unlock those cards for other decks. It's kind of just like a one collection of cards that you have to play together sort of by themselves. But they're a really great way for newer players to get in, maybe experience the different themes and try out some new cards in a certain set, such as, for example, here in Formations. We actually give you 2 theme deck tokens just for finishing the tutorial. So, if you haven't had a chance to play the game yet, you can jump on Epic, download the game completely for free, finish the tutorial to learn how to play the game, and we'll give you 2 theme decks to get yourself up and running to jump in there and play. And obviously, you could use those theme decks, to play in our tournaments on Blue Mint. We saw theme decks get played right up, to some of the top events in the 23 World Championships. So they're pretty fun. And we specifically try to design theme decks to be as close to each other on the power curve as possible. So the idea isn't so much trying to pick the theme deck which is the strongest. The idea is more pick the theme deck that you like the color, you like the cards, you like the style of play. And you should be able to jump in there and play with them and have a really good time.
And sorry, mate, you were saying the new theme decks. How are they? What are they?
So there's 4 theme decks in Formations. So that brings up to 11 theme decks now available in total in the game. 3 of those are single color theme decks, and one of them is a 2-color deck. So yeah, definitely. So it's the first time we've done a 2-color theme deck. Again, we try to design theme decks to sit on the more easier end of the difficulty curve in terms of like skill cap needed to play the game. but yeah, went with a two-color deck now because there's a lot of mechanics in formations that really does suit having two colors working together. And yeah, we're hoping that that might open up for some players to start playing with not with decks with more than one color, and hopefully eventually work their way right up to the full rainbow decks. So decks that use in some cases 4 or even 7 colors.
Shall we? Yeah, that was a really awesome showcase of all the cool upcoming formations cards and the entire set. I think the whole team has outdone themselves getting this ready, and it's like a really pivotal moment. The drop going live tomorrow because, as Marty said, it's the first set we've done, which is like a comprehensive full core set since we designed the original game. A long time ago, like 1 to 2 years. So yeah, well done to the whole team, especially Marty and Brett for designing the cards. Johnny on the art, Alex on the VFX. And then James and Kerry on the dev side of the equation. Just want to give a big shout out to everyone who's helped. Alberto on the UI. It's a really big moment we are about to embark upon. So really thrilled to be at this point, and a lot of the questions are related to play to earn or play and earn. It's good timing now that the token has pumped. Now the allocations that we've made to each of the reward pools has just increased in USD equivalent, and they are about to go live as of the 1st of December. So play and earn and collect and earn rewards will all go live from the beginning of December. In terms of the way they will be distributed, it's going to be paid in arrears. So whether it's 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months, we're still working through the details, but we are tracking every detail of every game that is played from the 1st of December, and then we are distributing the allocation across everyone who is eligible. So there's no need to stake anymore. If you own the collectible cards, you will get a share of rewards based on how prevalent each of those cards were in competitive play and how successful they were. If you are playing at a competitive level, we have some safeguards in place to make sure people aren't abusing it and just like win trading or anything like that. But you will share in the rewards that are allocated to play and earn, especially if you are winning at higher levels of play. So yeah, really excited to get all of that stuff online as of 1 December. I might just run through a few of the quick questions that have come up in the chat now.
Before you do that, just quickly, I just
Yeah,
want to
sure.
just give a shout out to our Web3 team. Being able to set up play and earn and collect and earn style systems without a staking component, just reading what's in your wallet, being able to adjust that based on people who choose to trade, choose to rent, choose to lend, and all that sort of stuff, is pretty stupid. They've done a lot of really awesome work on the back end to make all that possible. So yeah, just a huge shout out to the team for being able to pull
Absolutely.
that off.
Yeah, Josh, Francis, and Alex. Yeah, thanks heaps for all your help on the Web3 and web side of the equation. Yeah, perfect. Okay, let's jump into some questions. I'm just conscious of time. That was a very comprehensive reveal of all of the cards. So I did see a couple of questions on mechanics. So there was one, let me just see if I can find it, about, here we go. So Ashhole has asked, can Shockwave travel against flankings? The answer is, for the current version of the game, it will only damage minions to the side of your target. So if you attack a flanking minion, it's going to have nothing to one of its sides. If it's flanking on the left, then it's going to have only a maximum of 1 minion to the right. It's not going to have anything to the left, so it's only going to damage 1. Conversely, if you attack a flanking minion on the right, it's only going to have 1 minion next to it. So that adds a strategic element on the other side to try to position your minions in a way where you minimize shockwave damage, especially if King Leonidas becomes pretty powerful. We've seen it sometimes with like a Wen Lambo and Oni combo. Wen Lambo giving your minions pump so they can attack the turn you play them, and Oni having like a pretty decent shockwave effect, it does pay to think about the positioning of your minions, not just from an offensive perspective, but also defensive going into formations. I think it's going to be like another element to the strategic thinking. Next question here we have, if you have 6 minions, how does flanking span? Correct me if I'm wrong, Marty, but it's you need to have at least 3 minions, and then the 2 on either side will be flanking. So whether it's 3, whether it's 6, it's just the ones on the sides will be flanking. Okay, so those were the 2 that I just noticed while we were talking. If we've got any other questions, then we can open up to Ray or Marty to select them.
Marty, did you say that you're going to be putting out a medium about all the play to earn type mechanics very shortly?
Yeah, it's literally it's like 90% done at the moment. I would have had it done yesterday, but Cirque du Soleil is pretty cool in Vegas, and I fell asleep afterwards. So yeah, we'll get that out later on today. We'll get that reviewed by the team and all that. So that's all good to go. Yeah, that'll definitely be live before formations and before it all kicks off in season 2.
So will that have it within its sort of fairly specific examples of the sort of values you can earn from playing and collecting and things like that?
Pretty much, yeah. So, I mean, one of the things with how we're implementing these systems is it is very dependent on how many people in total are engaging in that aspect of the ecosystem. So, for example, there's only one person, playing in play and earn games. Well, I mean, it doesn't work so you need 2 people, but then that person would take 100% of the pool. So it is obviously dependent on the total number of players who are engaging with those systems. We've got some examples sort of breaking down a bit based on data from season 1. Just try and make it as clear as possible.
I mean, I'll point it out. There is on the media. On the medium, the Raini has a tokenomics. One of the last 4 or something that basically goes into detail as to the amount of values that are going to be able to be generated from these play, collect, and the leaderboard side of things. So just have a look at that medium, or we'll post it in the chats. But it's a fantastic breakdown of the sort of RST you can earn and play and collect from playing in the game. The leaderboard, is that live this season? Like are the first leaderboard payouts going to be happening the season just gone, or does it come live in season 2?
I believe this is something we will confirm by tomorrow. That was actually a conversation we had just before jumping into the AMA, so let us get back to you on that. There will definitely be rewards for season 1 leaderboard. It's just a matter of what they are at this point. Yeah, and 100% season 2 leaderboard RST rewards will kick in. It could be season 1. Let us just have a chat and get back to you as soon as we can.
Yeah, we need, because the downside, the issue is if we do season 1 as rewards from the pools that are assigned for play and earn, collect and earn leaderboards, it means in 4 years and 9 months we're going to be out at that point. So yeah, it's like, I mean, don't get me wrong. If we're sitting here, Ray, on an AMA in what 2027, saying, "Hey guys, guess what? We don't have leaderboard rewards for season 4, 8, 12, 16."
Too early, mate.
I want to say 22, but I could be wrong there. This is one of those good problems to have. I'll probably have gotten plugs by then. I'll have hair again, which would be cool. But we'll definitely do that. All the details that will be in the medium. Let's just try and work out. There will definitely be rewards for players in season 1. We're just trying to work out the best way to do those rewards, if that makes sense.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
sorry,
you go, mate. You go. I was going to say, just a rough off that tokenomics. I mean, play and earn is able to generate like up to 10 million RST per year, collect 10 million, leaderboard 5 million. Obviously split amongst the 4 seasons that will come each year. But when this thing goes mobile and localized to 8 or 9 different languages, people are going to, I mean, with those sorts of rewards on offer, it's going to be very attractive for players to come in and play this game, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, just to touch on that point as well. So I know I saw this question, I think, come up somewhere on Telegram. Obviously the team is still working on localization, still working on the mobile port of the game. Both are traveling along nicely. We're hoping, obviously, to have mobile in active testing relatively soon. As far as the localization goes, there potentially might be a few less languages at launch to what we were hoping for. Just there's obviously a lot of work in getting not just the actual game translated, but there's some languages that focus on like right to left characters and stuff like that, and just giving us a bit of a UX or UI nightmare. So there may just be not as many languages, so maybe like 4 or 5. But yeah, just wanted to. So I know we were looking at doing more, but yeah, just trying to make sure that if we're going to do it, we want to make sure we get it right. I would much rather do a smaller number of languages first and then circle back on the other ones. Obviously, there's languages that if you write them look like English are relatively straightforward. But anything that's right to left or more character based, just needs that little bit of extra love just to make sure we get it right.
Yeah, that's fine. Like I say, they will come eventually, but fantastic.
Yeah. I also just want to touch on there for I saw Darius just asking about staking not being required for play and earn. I just want to mention that with that, staking is not required, but you will need to link any wallets that you have cards in on RTLOL.com. So just keep that in mind. That if you don't have those wallets linked, you won't be earning rewards for them until you've linked the wallets across.
Okay.
I've got some other questions here. So, are we able to earn as free-to-play user? No. So we have the system built so that the theme decks and the tokens that you get allow you to experience the game, and we've got the base cards that are permanently unlocked, and a lot of the commons and uncommons are available in soulbound packs to allow free-to-play players to get into the game. But the play and earn rewards and collect and earn rewards are reserved exclusively for holders of collectible cards, which are the NFT versions on chain. It's just an incentive to, I guess, engage with the game at the highest level of support. And so that's that one. We have a question from Incredible Science. How would you respond to someone who says the following as to why they aren't buying into RST? The games just don't look that great. Elon cards in the game, etc. Seems a bit memey. What I would say to that is to strongly recommend they look a bit deeper. So we have always taken the perspective intentionally of making our game as deep as possible in terms of the mechanics and the competitive layer. Like we were, I guess, compared to chess on steroids pretty recently. The game itself is very in-depth, very engaging, very well thought out, very balanced, and very fun once you get into it. But we have intentionally taken an IP position as a game that doesn't take itself too seriously. Some of that stems from our origins as a meme coin in the way back in the day. But we just always wanted to have fun making the games and building the experience. I think it's better for both the community and the developers if you can not shy away from poking fun at yourself, at the world, at whatever's happening. It's not like we're doing hero worship for Elon. It's just like he's a pretty funny guy, whether you like him or hate him. He does some weird stuff, so it's nice to put him in the game and just kind of like bring attention to the absurdity of the world, so that you can have a bit of a laugh while enjoying a game that has a lot of depth. That's kind of our intentionality there, and is probably how I would explain it to someone like that.
I'd also just keep in mind that the general lore, or I guess narrative behind RTLOL, is the fact that the Rainiverse, exists across dimensions. The Rainiverse exists everywhere. So as much as Elon is in the game, as we can see from Formations, we have some very iconic characters from Greek history there, as an example. As we move into 2024, the team will be exploring other settings, other locations. It's a really great way for us to be able to create sets which are very fresh, very unique across the board, while allowing us to bring that all together in a very holistic sort of way. So, as much as we do have, as much as we're always going to, in Aussie vernacular, take the piss, we're going to keep things lighthearted, keep things very fun. We're also going to, explore different settings, explore different themes, and new ways of playing the game.
Absolutely. Let's jump through some other questions because I'm conscious of the fact that we've been going for over an hour. This is one that's coming up a lot. Um, uh, World Championship prizes. So the prizes that are being distributed by us are formations packs. Formations packs go live tomorrow. So shortly after we do the drop, we'll be able to issue the pack prizes. We weren't able to do that until the set was released for obvious reasons. The other component of the prizes are beam tokens, which are being paid by merit circles. So we've sent them the G sheet with the breakdown of all of the winners and the entitlements. They've confirmed receipt and they're working through it now. We're following up, but yeah, I guess every business and every company has their own processes of how they distribute it. Yeah, just unfortunately, when we have a major sponsorship for an event like the World Championships, where the bulk of the prize money is being put up by one of our key partners, we just don't have control over when they are issued. And so we're hoping that that's done as soon as possible, but we'll let you know as soon as we get an update. As I said, we've sent them the G sheet and they have confirmed receipt, and they look like they're putting things in place to pay out the prizes. Again, big shout out to Merit Circle for putting up such an insane prize pool. I imagine because of the size of it, it's just taking them a bit longer to organize the source of those funds, where it's coming from, which wallets. But they're worth a lot of money, so they're good for it. It's just a matter of time. So hopefully very soon. What else have we got in terms of questions? Anything else that? Yep.
Are there on the card, like just Bloody was just asking, any info when the card bridge via layer 0 will be live? Lots of people have got cards on BSC, ETH, AVAX, would like to see them all together and maybe bridge them to what is probably the most logical chain.
Yeah, I believe Alex has been working on that for quite a while, so it's getting pretty close. And that actually brings me to a new piece of news. We now that Formations is dropping tomorrow, I guess the next priority is finalizing the ETH bridge. So we had everything ready for testing, but we built it with the intention of launching on UniV2 on ETH. Now, for a number of reasons, we are looking at changing that to UniV3. So there's like maybe a day's worth of front end changes, and then we need to do some testing. So yeah, potentially we can have the ETH bridge live by next week, is what we're aiming for. And we'll be putting up at least some single-sided liquidity to start with, and we're going to be incentivizing the community to add liquidity and looking at further contributions down the line. I know that's something the community has called for a while. After that, then it gets back to like finalizing things like the bridge via layer 0 for cards and so on. It's all just a matter of prioritizing the most important things, or the things that the community is asking for the most.
So when the ETH bridge is live, is full functionality for RST back on ETH again with regards to staking of
Correct.
LP?
Yeah,
And
that's the last change we need to make, because we built it all. We've actually got that ready for testing. The staking of RST on its own, staking of RST LP, but it was done for UniV2 to match Beam. Beam only has UniV2 available. But then we did a bit of a strategic meeting with internally and with our upcoming key partnership, which is yet to be announced, but it seems like a lot of people are having guesses about that. And it for a number of reasons, it became apparent that it was better to go to UniV3. So that's just a minor dev change to the front end, because obviously UniV3 uses NFTs instead of just LP tokens for LP, and then a little bit of testing, and we should be able to launch.
And this upcoming drop, it's available on all the chains so far, like BSC, AVAX.
Yeah, I mean there was a lot of. It's a shame when all the icons that we've made cards out of from the last bull run keep uh, getting convicted. But yeah, with CZ stepping down, um, we still don't want to withdraw support for BNB chain. We have a lot of community members who engaged with BNB chain and really haven't set up the functionality on any other chains, and we don't want to be forcing people to use any chain in particular. We want to leave that choice up to our community, and that's why, at least for this drop, we're doing an allocation to BNB chain. We're doing Ethereum, we're doing Beam, obviously, and we're doing Avalanche. So those are the chains that you'll be able to buy packs on as of 9 a.m. Sydney time tomorrow.
And you can buy those packs with the native token of those chains. Can you buy packs with RST at this time around?
Yeah, Beam.
So, so actually,
Beam.
yeah, you can buy with the native token of every chain except Beam.
Okay.
If you want to buy on Beam, you're buying with RST.
Okay, sweet.
And the only reason we've done that, obviously, is because RST has that burn functionality built into the token, as well as the spend functionality with that 25% going to that bonus pool.
The Raini pool. And the allocation to Beam is double that of any of the other chains. The other way you can do it, if you've been staking for a while and you have rainbows or unicorns, you can bid in auction, or buy raffle tickets. Interestingly, in the Tempest drop, when we did an allocation to rainbow and unicorn packs were going for pretty cheap, to be honest. So there is a bit of a game layer there to maximizing your points, bidding on the right auctions if you want to guarantee you get the packs, or buying raffle tickets early on. So there are a lot of ways that you can get packs as of tomorrow.
And for anybody who doesn't know, I suppose when you stake $RST on the website, you earn rainbows, and when you stake RST LP, you earn unicorns, plus you earn RST.
Thanks for the reminder, Ray. Actually, so currently you can also earn rainbows and unicorns from staking Raini. When we launch the ETH bridge for RST, and we launch staking for RST on Ethereum, we are going to run a script that will redeem all outstanding rainbows and unicorns for anyone who's staked Raini, and then disable further rainbow and unicorn earning. Again, we've seen a lot of interest lately. I think some people were a bit confused about the token. So Raini was pumping a bit more than RST. It seems like that gap has closed a lot and people are kind of working out the new lay of the land. But we just want to make it really obvious in terms of aligning incentives in ensuring people know that RST is the token that's going to have all the utility moving forward.
Excellent. So basically, no more rainbows, unicorns for staking $Raini.
Correct.
It all moves to $RST.
You got a little bit of time left until we launch the ETH bridge, and then that's going away.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, sweet. That's good to know. All right.
Just and obviously, as we sort of made it clear, all future utility functionality focus from the team, liquidity will be focused on RST. The only real purpose once the ETH bridge is live of Raini is to migrate it to RST.
And just for everybody, if some of your questions haven't been asked, I'll go through all the chats, pick up the questions, and we can just text-based answer them maybe definitely in the next couple of days, and we'll post those answers in the chat as well. That'd be great, just for time's sake, because of the reveal of formations.
Absolutely. We'll do a text-based update as soon as we can today or early tomorrow or something, just to cover any questions that were missed. But yeah, I think it's been really cool AMA today. I'm pleased to see so many people showing up and tuning in. Really appreciate the support. Keen to get this set not just dropped, but live in the game. And I'm super curious to see what the new meta becomes, like what the power decks are, and go through that evolution of people experimenting with all the new cards and seeing what works and what doesn't.
Brilliant. Thanks, guys.
Also, just keep in mind, we do have that Twitter space with Merit Circle or Gaming on Beam tomorrow. You can find that over on our Twitter, and I'll be posting it in our Telegram as well. It's going to be a really cool chat, talking about all things Raini, all things RTLOL, and all things formations. It's a few hours before, I think 5 hours, before the launch of formations, roughly. But yeah, just keep an eye on Twitter, and you'll see it over there.
Awesome.
Cool. Well, yeah, that's. It's over an hour, so it's a typical AMA, really. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining us, and we'll catch you well, we'll catch you tomorrow for that Twitter space and the formations launch. Have a great mid-afternoon, everyone.
Good luck cracking those mythics. Cheers, everyone.
See you guys.
Catch you later.